19th century. It was very hard for everybody to open his wings and start working in order to gain money.
Unfortunately, everybody had faced the disastrous First World War. People who had gone through the war had no money and no necessary needs and wants in order to survive. The belle epoque had passed, and eventually the time was running and we came into the 1940s, almost the age of which everybody was trying to develop and improve their standard of living. On the other hand, the era of Hitler arrived. Fascism spread all around the world, and this special person Hitler was ruthless, malicious, and malevolent. He was a racist towards black people and Jews.
It is true that fascism had been spread all around the world, even in the United States of America. If you went there, you could see that the white people didn't like black people. The same with Jesse Owens, who was a black African American man who was considered to be a zero, nothing in the United States. Evidence showed us that while he was catching the bus, nobody paid attention to him, even after he won the Olympic Games.
Instead of fighting everybody like black people and Jews, who were not from the Aryan race, Hitler organized the Olympic Games in order to gain appreciation of the other people.
Yes, indeed, the Olympic Games had been postponed since the beginning of the 19th century due to the First World War, and it was a very good opportunity for the place to recommence it again. Unfortunately, Hitler kept in his mind and in his heart exactly what he believed, that the only accepted race that could exist it was the Aryan race, and he could not imagine that other participating countries would bring people from other races instead those from the white. Surprisingly enough, what happened? Americans sent black people as athletes to represent them in the Olympic Games. Jesse Owens, who was a very young, smart and nice African American person who was running the 100-meter sprint, and some others.
And he started speeding. It was very hard for him, but he managed to win everyone and get the first position in the 100 meters. So, this enthusiasm was so big that he started running the triumph round. Once he passed through Hitler, it was conceivable that Hitler was making a gesture to him. To remind you, Hitler was a Chancellor of Germany and he attended the games. Documentation providing so far from the history shows us no evidence that he made such a gesture as a salutation to him. We have only the obvious salutation of Jesse Owens in a sense of responding to Hitler's.
What is worse? We see that at the medal parade we could not recognize from the evidence that Jesse Owens was awarded the medals on his breast. On the other hand, we know that back in the United States of America we can see the medals that Jesse Owens won during the Olympic Games and were one for 100 meters, one for 200 meters, one for 400 meters relay man, and one for long jump. So, that 4 medals are on display in the New York exhibition.
Is this a question that we have to raise in ourselves? Regretfully, it is not. We have to go see how his own people in the USA treated him instead of what Hitler did to him. Because, as other people's evidence say, he faced discrimination on his black race in his own country. So for me, the biggest question that we have to make is that:
do we have to say that Hitler was bad, ruthless, awful man, was having discrimination of the black people as he did during the war? Or we have to go further and see how we can eliminate or eradicate at all the discrimination worldwide?